back. What's up? Jerem Jordan, Jared Danielson, a.k.a. Banksy. Great to have you. Another edition of Dove Nation. We're getting close to the season, and now we've got the schedule, baby.
Yes.
Let's go.
We've got something to look forward to for 2021. Completely robbed of a home season. We've got home games in March, guys.
It's better than February, I'll tell you that. I remember calling a game against NOLA in February, totally in the snow. It was insane. Okay, we've got a great show today. We're going to break down the schedule in case you missed it. We're going to talk to the head coach, Chris Latham, the director of Rugby, Brandon Sparks, the Eagle for the 15s and the 7s, Mikey Teo, plus stud center, Calvin Whiting. It is loaded. Let's go. The schedule looks like this. The Warriors open up Sunday, March 21st at San Diego. At San Diego, Mikey Teo, old team.
You want to talk about, like, writing the storybook, you know, if you're creating storylines for a season, there's one for you to talk about for the next 6 months. Mikey Teo facing his old team, and what's he going to have to prove? Are they going to put a chip on their shoulder and put a target on his back, or is this really his time to shine with a new team? We know what's going to happen because we know the weapons that we're surrounding him with here in Utah. Super excited to see Mikey Teo take the field in the appropriate red and black jersey.
Okay, Saturday, March 27th, home opener in week 2 against the New England Free Jacks. Finally, a home game.
And it's in March, so we're still 50-50 on whether or not it could be snowed out at that time. But it's home rugby in Utah. Free Jacks coming to town. This is a squad now that's basically had 2 years to build their team and grow into the MLR. These guys are going to be really well prepared.
Beat New England in Vegas. That was a great match for the Warriors. Okay, the rest of April. Saturday, April 3rd, Old Glory, D.C. That's a road game. Saturday, April 10th, the Los Angeles Guiltinis. That's one of the 2 expansion teams with the Dallas Jackals. That's a home game. Saturday, April 17th, that's a bye. You get 2 of those in an 18-week span. 16 games, 8 home, 8 road. Then Saturday, April 24th, the Jackals at home. So back-to-back home games against the expansion teams.
With that bye week in the middle, that's a really good chance to make a statement there. Don't look past the Guiltinis, even though they're a new team. They've had some really good international signings. That's going to be a team that's going to come in with, I imagine, a bit of flair and something that they're going to prove in their first year. And Jackals making some of those same moves, man. There's no easy games in Major League Rugby, but having those both at home with that bye week in the middle could put us in a great position going into round 6 and then looking ahead to traveling to Seattle in round 7.
Yeah. 3 of the first 5 are at home. And again, weather could be an issue. But as you mentioned, Sunday, May 2nd, Seattle on the road. That's the last game that the Warriors have played. Of course, the dramatic win in the 90th minute, the back-to-back champs. They're still the reigning champs. They will have been the reigning champs for 2 years. Okay, Saturday, May 8th, this is the first return game. San Diego at home. May 15th, the Saturday, Austin Gronis away. Sunday, May 23rd, Houston away. And then finishing Saturday, May 29th, NOLA at home. Those have been some good games with NOLA the last couple of years, too.
NOLA always been a good squad. I think they're a lot like Utah has been the last couple of years, and I think people feel like they've been an underperforming squad. So that's going to be, I think, a statement game for Utah as we circle something on the calendar. I think that's a chance if we can survive the early difficulties in this schedule with back-to-back San Diegos and a trip to Seattle. By the time we get to that NOLA game, if we can pull off a big dub there at home, we could start to see some separation and a playoff race developing.
June 5th, Dallas Jackals on the road. Saturday, June 12th, Seattle at home. That'll be a big one. Sunday, June 20th, at Toronto, which you like to call Canada's B team, which they essentially are, at York University. So that's a long road trip, right? Saturday, June 26th is the second bye.
Because you're talking about the return meeting with Seattle. Then they go on the road all the way to Toronto, a bye week, and then they were on the road again the first week in July against the Guiltinis in LA. Even though it's a bit of a commuter flight, that's a tough 3 weeks to manage going through that late June, early July section with some tough teams and a long travel schedule.
July 2nd, before the 4th of July weekend. I kind of like that. And then the final 2 games of the regular season are both at home. Saturday, July 10th against Houston and Saturday, July 17th against Austin. So what do you think of the whole 16-game schedule in 18 weeks?
A lot of people talk about how rigorous it is, about how tough it is. We're not the only sport that does this. So this is something that every team has to manage. We're not unique. I think we got a really fair split with where our bye weeks fell. I think we got a really fair shake in our home versus away schedule. There's really no long road trip slag. There's no big homestand for us to have to manage and weather our way through. I think the first half of our schedule could be a lot tougher than the second half. So weather and manage those first 8 or 9 games, and we could really come home strong in the stretch and be looking at a higher playoff seed than I think the Utah Warriors have ever seen going into the postseason.
I agree with you. And the top 2 teams in the West, which there are 7 teams, and the East, which there are 6 teams, go to the championship series or the playoffs. And that's in late July, and then you get into early August for the championship game there. I like the balance of the schedule, Banksy, because I was afraid that because, hey, we don't want weather in Utah, we're just going to put the Warriors, from the league's perspective, out on the road for 5 weeks. No, it's away, home, home. There's never a set of more than 2 home games or 2 road games consecutively. And you mentioned that tough road trip of at Toronto June 20th, by July 2nd at LA. There's balance there, and that's going to be important for this group. And I think that there's enough depth to be able to get through this, whether it be injuries, whether it be attrition in any form. So I'm stoked, man. I fully expect the Warriors to compete for a playoff spot. Last year I thought, okay, that'd be nice. But this year I go, I think that a playoff spot is a very, very realistic goal.
See, I was a little more, I think, optimistic last season, especially after what we did in Seattle in that 90th minute, showing the fortitude to not take the penalty right in front of the posts, deep in Seattle territory, but to kick for the edge and to really force the issue there and take the win out of that game. I felt like nobody is looking past the Utah Warriors anymore. Nobody is looking at this team going, oh, they'll flame out in the 70th minute and we'll be okay and that'll be a win for. Nobody's second guessing this Utah Warriors squad. Now, everybody has potential going into the beginning of the season, but look out. Dub Nation is on a roll, baby, with this 2021 schedule.
And you add the talent that the Warriors have, oh my gosh, it's going to be awesome. In fact, it's so awesome, you probably better get your tickets soon.
Buckle up, baby, because if you look at any one of these single games and think, oh, that would be great, imagine how great it's going to be when you can lock in your season tickets and guarantee your seats. We don't know what the restrictions are going to be for capacity, so don't wait for those single game seats. Make sure you get your season tickets in. You can get multi-game packages, and you can guarantee your spot before the GA tickets go on sale. Check out all of the Utah Warriors social media and the website. I'm sure we'll get a link posted down below for you so you can get a direct link and get your tickets in now. They go on sale December 10th. Your single game and season tickets all available for Utah Warriors 2021.
And Dub Nation was awesome in showing up to the Flex game, so we're excited about the regular season as well. Get your tickets today. Okay, our first guest today is the head coach, Chris Latham, of course, the legend. Let's discuss what his reaction is to the schedule and preparations for the season. All right, Chris, obviously excited to see the schedule because it's been a minute since we've had games, and now we have a 16-game schedule, 8 home, 8 road, opening on March 21st. That's a Sunday against San Diego. First off, what are your overall thoughts of this schedule?
Well, my initial thoughts was finally I might get to have a home game. We had four games on the road, and we did the hard slog, and we obviously started to get some good results, and we're finally looking forward to our first home game, and then bang, she was gone. So looking at this schedule, second game in, we're at home, so I can't wait for it.
Absolutely.
Against New England. Yeah.
We look through the first half of the season, and that first half seems to be a bit of a slog, but a chance to finish strong in the second half there with some of the new teams in the league, as well as a good final home stretch. That's got to feel good knowing that, to use your mountain climbing analogy, if you put in those hard miles at first, there's a real chance of reaching the summit here in the MLR season going into 2021.
Yeah, definitely. But then when you do look at those first 4 teams, don't matter where you're going to play. At the end of the day, we do have to play them, and to be honest, I'd much rather play them first up because I know going into that first 4 games, we can really get these guys amped up. We can really get the get the energy high and make sure that we're going into these games knowing that we've just got this first four games. We've got home games either side of the bye, so it is actually a really easy draw for us to look at for that first probably 4 to 6. I guess you could say rounds. So yeah, it's very easy for us to get these guys up for this and to be excited for. So regardless of who's in there, but for me, I'd much rather play those better teams. It certainly puts us in a mindset of knowing where we're at, what we need to work on early, what we might need to change, but hopefully, all going well, we hit the road running and we get 4 in a row, and then we're looking at a bye and we can put our legs up a little bit and have a rest. That could be the reward, but as always, you've got to get the chocolates before you get the reward. So we've got to make sure we do the hard work first.
It has pushed everything back, and then the league 2 years ago said, no, we shouldn't be playing as many games, maybe in February in Denver, obviously out of the league, in Utah where we had a snow game against NOLA. So this is a later start, March 21st, ends July 17th, then the championship series or playoffs end of July into August. This is going to be a slog. So 16 games in 18 weeks. How do you physically and mentally prepare a team to go through something like that?
Yeah, I mean, you could see it as that, but for me, an 18-game, series, and then from me looking back from when I was playing, we play that Super 14, then go straight into a I guess a 10-week Tri Nations and what be it with New Zealand, South Africa, and Argentina and things like that. So effectively, it is what it is. I mean, you just got to make sure that you, from a coaching point of view, we're keeping a good eye on the guys, how their energy levels are. We're making sure that recovery systems are all in place, and we're planned with our training so that we're making sure that each Saturday or Sunday when game day's on, and a Friday night game in there as well. But when it comes to game time, these guys are running at 100%. And, as a coaching staff, it's our job to make sure that happens. And, and from a player's point of view, you just got to make sure that you're ticking all the boxes that they need to tick for themselves personally. And, if we've got that going along, we're hyped up, we're amped up each week. We're keeping things fresh and fun at training. An 18-week season, it actually goes very quickly if you get things right. Yes, it can be a long slog if you don't get it right, if you don't get things at training right, if you don't freshen things up, if you don't keep guys fresh. So, there's a lot of pressure on us, but with the coaching staff that we've got, I know with the mix of the senior players and young players that we've got, especially now with the experienced guys that we have coming in, like Mikey Teo as such as well, we're going to lean on those guys as well to make sure that their experiences that they have, help these other guys that haven't had to do this type of scenario before. So again, we've recruited well for this particular reason, not only for the on-field performances, but also for the off-field stuff as well, to make sure we're ticking that as well.
I know Brandon Sparks likes to give you a hard time that he's coached more home games for the Warriors now than you have with his run through the Utah Select season. Talk about how gratifying that's got to be to see the growth, though, through that, and now to have a date to be able to circle on the calendar to look forward to finally get that first home game, to be up in the box and watching your boys take the field.
Yeah, I don't know who's more excited, who would be more excited than me or the fans to actually get a home game. So, I really can't wait. I still have that memory of us walking out for a captain's run for the first time and knowing that we were going to play the next game at the end of when the season ended, and just that devastating news when I got called across to say, hey, listen, we actually aren't going to be playing. I was broken. I was broken for the boys because, I could just see it from our last win against when we beat Seattle there in that, I think it was the 90th minute. In the sheds after that, I just took a second to look around that dressing room and I saw the switch. I saw the change in those guys' mentality that, we're here. We can do this. And, and then that transferred through to the week's training, and I could see the excitement. The boys wanted to play in front of their family. They wanted to play in front of their fans. And I was just on that ride of emotion, of excitement. And then not to have it in the end was a huge letdown. So, yeah, I'm probably more excited than anyone to be able to get out there and have that first home game.
Well, look, I don't
for it either, right? Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
You still got some fishing trips ahead of you, I know, so we won't keep you from that before you head back over here to America and take the helm back here. As long as you keep posting some pictures to share so the rest of us can live vicariously through you as we stare down a winner and you be in the opposite seasons there, Coach. Thanks so much, man.
No, I appreciate it. And thanks so much for your support. And, Warriors Nation, let's get out there and support these boys because they're working hard for you.
Yeah, we look forward to him coaching a home game finally.
You can see why the guys want to play for him and why it's easy to get excited as a Utah Warriors fan. If you're ready for home rugby like Chris Latham is, it's time to get your tickets to come see the Utah Warriors play here in our very own backyard. Home games are a real thing. Circle them on the calendar and get your tickets at warriorsrugby.com. Single game tickets are available, but don't wait because capacity might be an issue here for us in 2021 fans. Make sure you get your season ticket packages in and guarantee your space before the GA tickets go on sale.
This is a talented center from South Africa who's made a home here in Utah, All-American at BYU, has been a USA Eagle on the U19s and some of those other teams. He's awesome, up-and-comer in this league. His name is Calvin Whiting. All right, Calvin, here we are, headed into Season 4 of Major League Rugby. We have a schedule. You have specific dates to look forward to. What was your reaction when you saw the schedule?
Well, I guess which schedule, right? I mean, I saw the preseason schedule, and I got a little worried about that one. But then I saw the actual game schedule, and I was like, oh, wait, this is actually something I can get behind. So starting off with a bang, obviously, those first couple games. But, man, looking forward to it. Finally, it's been a long, 7-8 months without rugby now?
So I know you and especially that back line that you've kind of made your home there in the center's positions. You guys really started to click there coming up at the end of last year before everything got shut down. It's got to be exciting now with some of the new additions that you're going to be playing alongside to have that kind of experience and firepower inside and outside of you.
Yeah, no, seriously. It's kind of crazy to think that like any given week it could be anyone because we have that type of caliber of players, right? And so it's like you have to be on your A game every single day, week in, week out, to make sure that you have a spot on that playing 23. So really looking forward to it because we get to push each other and we get to grow with each other as well. So you build that kind of the camaraderie, and so you kind of get to push each other to this next level. So really looking forward to it. Some of those new additions are going to be awesome, as well as kind of still playing with obviously Tyler Fisher, Josh Whippy, all the boys as well. So it's going to be exciting, man.
Like this team got better on the roster.
Yeah. Sorry, you cut out there a little bit, Jaron, but I think you said this team got better on the roster. Is that right? Yeah, so no, definitely.
Where do you feel like it did?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, looking at it now, it's like before I feel like the Warriors were always this like kind of underdog team. But it's like with the players that we have now, the type of caliber that we have and the additions that we've made, like Mikey Teo and some of those guys, Paul Mullen, it's a different story, right? We can compete. We can actually give these guys a go. And it's something that we can actually get behind and like, you know what, let's do this. Like, why not? Like, we have all the assets. We have all the tools. We have the right coaching staff. Like, let's give this. I mean, we have so much talent coming through. I mean, obviously a given is Bailey Wilson. He's the kid's a freak, man, freak of an athlete, freak of a player. And so he's going to be really exciting to watch within this competition as well as this league. Some of the other boys as well, like Tommy Turval. He's also a really great workhorse. I haven't seen anyone be able to match his work rate at practice. And so it'll be really cool to see how he grows as well this next coming season. Those two just the top of my head. But to be honest with you, it's almost at a point where we all tend to kind of help each other get to that next level. Me being the person I am, I've seen how this development has kind of taken place because I started off my first year with the Warriors just like a practice dummy. because it's waiting on work visa stuff, that kind of those issues. But seeing now how much I think potential we have coming through, it's going to be really exciting, man. It's really cool.
Did Mikey Teo on that back line, what will he add to this group?
Dude, Mikey Teo is an absolute legend. I remember playing with him my first stint with the USA team down in South America, and I've never seen someone have that type of explosive response to any type of gameplay. The dude is so quick on his feet, and like you wouldn't expect it a lot of the times too, because he comes off as this really relaxed guy, like just ready to have a good time. But when it comes to like a game situation, the dude's on it. Like good luck catching him. If he has a break and he sees what he wants to see, good luck. So having him be part of the team is going to be a game changer for sure. To be able to have someone with that explosive nature and be able to kind of just make the difference for us in the back line, it's going to be awesome.
Well, he did it to us in 2018 in the final minutes at home. So now it's going to be great to watch him do it with us. I'm going to ask you a real hard-hitting question here now and put you on the spot, Cal. I didn't warn you about this. I know you're not ready for it. Best hair on the squad. Is it going to be Lance Williams, Mikey Teo, or Thomas Tucci?
Oh boy, that's up there.
Those are probably your three best contenders for the best do on the squad.
Hands down. Kind of depends on what conditioner they use, if I'm being honest. Because I think they all have about the same length, but I'm not too sure about what the upkeep on it is.
Lance likes to do the hair down blowing in the wind. Mikey likes Mikey likes the man bun, and I know Tucci likes the pulled up ponytail action when he's in the scrum there. So
exactly.
A lot of good hair on the team, brother.
Yeah, no kidding.
Okay, Calvin, I wanted to ask you about the draw of the schedule as well. So obviously you're going to play the other 6 Western Conference teams twice, but the 2 teams the Warriors are not playing are Atlanta and Rooney. It just kind of is what it is, but what did you think of that draw?
It's honestly, I was kind of not disappointed that we don't get to play Atlanta again, because obviously kind of a sour taste in our mouth coming from that loss. But I think, like you said, it's just the luck of the draw to see all the newer teams as well. So like obviously the Jackals, the Guiltinis, also kind of curious to see what they'll be able to, kind of put up against us, because you watch all the signings that they've had. Another team as well I was looking at was Austin. Also made a lot of good signings as well, some high caliber players. So you never know where this competition is going to go, because there's signings left and right and some high caliber players coming in. So it's going to be really fun. But as far as like the draw goes, obviously a bummer that we don't get to play Rooney and Atlanta. But at the end of the day, hopefully we see them in the finals. So you just kind of have to hope.
So the biggest question mark I have on the schedule is you look at the one big away game against the Canadian national team. The Toronto, the Canada B team. That's going to be a tough trip. A lot of travel on the road against a good squad. What other games do you have circled that are really standouts? Like, I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, I was thinking of that same thing, Daniel. It's not damn Jared. Sorry, man. Jeez, getting you confused with your cousin.
My cousin's name.
I know. Jeez, sorry, bro. Looking at it, I see all of the games as an opportunity, right? It's like an opportunity to get better, opportunity to kind of compete against ourselves as well and see what we can do. As far as like the games I'm most excited for, I would probably say any home game, because I haven't yet experienced that. And so, honestly, any team coming to us, I cannot wait, because I'm sure, like Chris was saying before, it's you don't have that. We didn't have that last season. And so we were coming off a huge win with Seattle, but as soon as we got to play at home, it was canceled. And so looking forward to any game at home, to be able to play in front of the Warriors Nation and just to be able to play in front of our family and our crowd, right? So
Free Jackson Guiltinis week 2 and 4. You know what's coming up. For the first two home games for the Utah Warriors.
Shaken, not stirred, right?
Yeah. We're going to stir it up a little bit. I believe in us.
Well, Calvin, it's great to catch up with you. We appreciate the time, man. We're looking forward to, obviously, the season, but I know there's a lot of work that's going to lead up to that in the next couple of months.
Yeah, no kidding. Thanks for having me, guys. We're hard at work already started, so the boys are on it.
Calvin Whiting, so talented. Can't wait to see Calvin and all those guys in the back line just score a ton of tries. Let's go. Okay, we've got some holiday ticket specials we want to let you know about. Plenty of fun options for the hardcore rugby fan and even someone you can welcome into Dub Nation. Buy 3, get 1 free season tickets starting as low as $288. Are you serious? Buy 3, get 1. 4 tickets to the home opener and get a rugby ball, $95 option. $100 spent on merchandise also gets you 2 tickets to the home opener against New England on March 27th. So there are plenty of holiday ticket options available to see a lot of talented guys, including our next guest.
It's the stocking stuffer you want, and although we can't wrap him up and put him under the tree, he is the gift we were hoping for around the holidays here for 2020. Southern California native. You want to talk about a guy that has all the experience in the world, a capped Eagle. He's played for the Sevens national team. He's played in World Cups representing the United States, and now the newest member of the Utah Warriors and an absolutely electrifying player. Let's talk to Mikey Teo.
All right, this is going to be awesome. Mikey Teo is on Dub Nation. Mikey, great to have you on the show, man.
Hey, thanks for having me. Thanks, guys. Glad to be on Dub Nation. Glad to talk some rugby and talk about the exciting things coming up. So thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We're going to break down the schedule in a moment with you, but let's talk about the decision to join the Warriors. Obviously, the Warriors have been a team you played against. Now you're going to play for the Warriors. I know you have ties to Utah, but what went into the decision to become a part of the Utah Warriors?
Okay, so my wife and I, we had a few teams to consider signing with, and we did some talking, did some praying, and we ultimately ended up with Utah. So we're excited. We're excited. We've always lived by the beach, so going to the mountains should be a new experience for myself. I've always lived by the beach, but this is a new experience for us. Get in tune with the outdoors, do some skiing. I hear the skiing's good out there, so yeah, just looking forward to that. And Chris Latham as well. He was a big push for me wanting to go play for Utah as well.
Having a head coach like Chris Latham is going to be a motivator for anybody. But I know with some of the personal friendships you have on the team, it's got to be cool. Let's just pose a quick scenario for you. You're playing 15. You're back at fullback. Clearance kick comes over the top. You take it, and you look up the field, and you see 80 meters in front of you. You look to your left, and you've got a guy you know in Calvin Whiting that you've played in the Stars and Stripes. You look to your right, and you've got one or both of the Whippy brothers, guys that you know really well, that you've also played with at length at 7s and 15s. How exciting has that got to be as a fullback who likes to run with the ball in hand, to kind of have those weapons inside and outside of you, right?
Yeah, that scenario just there, I've been trying to picture what the season's going to be like, and I'm hoping for 1 or 2 scenarios just like that, or a lot of scenarios. First off, I just want to catch the ball. That's probably the main thing, and then I'll be able to play alongside Calvin and the Ricky brothers. I love those guys. And just want everybody on the team. I'm just excited. First off, I just want to catch that ball and just react and try to do my best for the team and try to get some points on the board.
I don't want to see you call Mark a single time. I want you to catch the ball and just find playmakers. I don't want a single mark called this year. Is that an unfair request?
I've only marked it like 3 times, and all 3 were in last year's first MLR game. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't see myself anymore. I don't know. Yeah.
So you mentioned coming out and going skiing and getting back into some of those other activities. I'm guessing that means the rehab on the leg and your knee feels great then?
Yeah. I did my knee in 2018, like March. Came back strong. Blessed. It was a long journey, but I came back strong in 2019. Ultimately, got to the World Cup. Was able to play there, so that was a blessing. And yeah, my body feels good. I'm ready to go. Probably need a couple more months of preseason to get ready. But yeah, I'll be rearing for March 21st. Yeah.
For those unfamiliar with sort of your story and where you've been, walk us through a little bit of what you've been able to do and with 7s and 15s at the highest level for the United States.
So when I turned 18, I was blessed to be on the USA team. I played for the under 20s, and we won the Junior World Trophy in Utah, actually. That was a fun fact. That was 2012. Later that year, I made the 7s team, and then I played with the USA Sevens pretty much for the next 7 years. And 2016, I got my first USA 15s cap, and yeah, I made it through that Olympic World Cup cycle. And from there, brings me to Utah 2021. So that's 9 years. Been coming up on 9 years professional. So it's been a blessing. It's been quite a journey. I've been able to travel the world and fill up a passport, which was one of my first goals when I first started traveling. So yeah, I'm just excited to get my feet down to Utah and see what I can do.
So I'm gonna put you on the spot again here, Mikey, with another new Warrior who's joining the fold here with Paulie Mullins. Have you in fact ever heard him play the tin whistle, and is he any good at it? I hear he's quite the musician, and I just want to know if that's if you can verify that.
Man, I've heard enough rumors to know that he's a good tin whistle player. I don't even know what they're called, but whistler. But I have not heard him in the flesh yet, so I'll be making sure he does it maybe in the pregame or postgame anthem. Just force it on him. If he scores a try, we'll make him do it in front of all the fans.
So who have you already played with the Warriors? I think it's at least Calvin Whiting with US. Is it Josh Whippy, Paul Mullen? Who am I missing?
I've actually played against John Cullen when I was under 16 in some random game back in, because he's from the greater LA area and I'm from Long Beach. So yeah, we played against each other like way back when, and then we just been running into each other ever since. So I don't know. I'm excited to play with him. Played with Matt Jensen. Pretty much all the boys that have Eagles caps for Utah, I've played with them. The coaches, Davies, and played under Sean. And yeah, Josh and Jared, I'm pretty close with them. And Josh came to my wedding. That was pretty massive. And there's a few boys I've played plenty of times with them.
A cautionary tale, Mikey, with all that good Spanish food. If you honeymoon a little too hard, they're going to take the 5 off of the back of your jersey and just leave it as a 1 and put you in the front row. So I'm going to do the strength and conditioning coaches a favor and remind you to be fit when you hit camp coming into town, all right?
I went for a run today, so we'll see what that does for me. I'll bank that in before Christmas. If I do a few more of those before Christmas, I should be.
I ate a salad. I should be good. How come I'm not skinny already?
I'm
going for a run. How come I'm not 80 minutes fit?
Should be all right. Should be all
right.
And we should say congratulations. You got married recently. You signed with the Warriors here in Spain. If we didn't already mention that. And so let's finish with this. The schedule came out. That's the crux of our show today. You mentioned March 21st. That is the opener at San Diego. How about this? This is the Mikey Teo Bowl, right?
I love that stadium. Sorrel Stadium. I have a lot of great memories. We qualified for the World Cup there. Countless San Diego games, and my family always comes out because it's close to home. So I'm excited to play in front of my family. They'll be able to come to watch. I don't know if they can travel up to Utah for the games and such, but yeah, for them to come to San Diego, that'll be awesome. Just find motivation throughout through the off season and through training, and there's big games that you want to get up for. So that's one of the games. Plus, it's the start of a new career path in Utah. So I want to be up for it and want to be ready. And yeah, I'm just excited that I get to put on Utah Warriors jersey going into that game.
Mikey, we're excited to see you in the appropriate shade of red for the new 2021 season. And congratulations on everything. And we can't wait to see you out here in Utah, man.
I don't know that I could be more excited about a single individual being added to the Utah Warriors. His personality is amazing. His skills are amazing. Mikey Teo is going to be such a massive asset to Dub Nation.
It's an absolutely electrifying guy to watch with the ball in his hand. He's one of those guys that no matter when you see him with the ball, you think something special could happen. Do not miss out on a chance to see Mikey and all of your Utah Warriors play at home. You can get buy 3, get 1 free season tickets starting as low as $288 for your Utah Warriors home games. Go to warriorsrugby.com right now to check it all out.
And the director of rugby is Brandon Sparks. He's a guy that has to organize a lot of what's going on here, the logistics behind the scenes. He coached the selects. There's a lot to talk with him about, and he is our next and final guest because the selects did such a great job this fall, and they learned a ton. Let's find out more in our conversation with Utah Warriors director of rugby, Brandon Sparks. Now joins us, and Brandon, obviously a lot of excitement around the schedule, but I want to start with the selects. You were the coach, you were organizing that. You guys go 3-2, and you're going to keep some of these guys, and the development and the pathway that Utah is setting up to be successful over time and homegrown it seems to be working. How would you assess how it went in the fall?
I think for all of the challenges that we faced between the pandemic, nobody else playing rugby, so on and so forth, I consider it a big success. We learned some pretty important lessons about operating procedures through the select season that will pay off in the MLR. But more importantly, the local community really threw their support behind the selects, both with the athletes that showed up and then some people that showed up to the games as well too. So yeah, all in all, I would rate it a 10 out of 10. So.
When the growth of that select side on the field, I feel like you've really found some gems through this Pathways program now, from some guys that have played up through the Utah Men's Premier Division, through the club levels with Park City Haggis, and now through the select side. We've got a good group of local players now that are all on the radar, and some of them might even get some MLR contracts and practice squad time out of this here as we look into 2021. Talk about some of those guys, man.
Yeah, I mean the MPD, the new MPD partnership that we have that isn't as widely known as it should be is, we are now the sponsors of the MPD, and they are our competition development pathway. So it's been good to be able to have that there in our own backyard that we can refer players to, but also draw players from. Somebody like Kimura, who was the best looking fly half that I've ever coached. Great player, incredibly athletic, saw the field really well. He came out of the MPD. Same with Logan Tago, whose brother actually played for the All-Army team that Mark Drown, our manager, coached. Logan was a unique situation in the regards that he's been with the CFL and in the NFL, and now has come back to rugby. Yeah, I mean, the list could go on and on. Aaron Wade with Antelope Island, again, he's only been around rugby for, I think, 6 months-ish. Which he grew tremendously, leaps and Browns. And then there's obviously known commodities like Joe Mano, who's probably one of the best players in Utah. James Mackey, that was with BYU, did phenomenally well. I mean, yeah, I could go on and sing the praises of this local talent and the embarrassment of riches that we have here in Utah.
Learned some things about logistics related to game operations. What are some of those things you learned that will help you in March when we start playing?
I mean, let's be real here. You're seeing it play out in every sports league, which is, the COVID and how the COVID impacts performance. So, being able to create safe practices and protocols for players that have dual roles in life, not just rugby players, and in keeping the staff as a whole safe, the players as a whole safe, as well as the competition that we play safe. Was hugely beneficial. Northeast Rugby Academy deserves a ton of credit because, they had to come out here in order to play us. They had to get COVID tested here in order to return back to Boston and New York. And, working through those logistics on how to create those kind of protocols, what resources to use, all of that, I think, is going to give us an advantage rolling into the MLR season.
So now as we look at the schedule going into 2021, you officially have a better home record than Chris Latham does in coaching the Utah Warriors.
And sellout records. It's important that I want to make sure that we put that on.
It was only 600 seats, Brad.
Yeah.
How much credit do I need to give you here?
Hey, sellout is a sellout, guys. I didn't say what we sold out.
It's sold out. You had to ratchet it up a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. I just, I want to put it out there. I don't want to, it's not a competition.
Let's bring it back down to earth. If we play up to our potential, your home record could be surpassed by the great Chris Latham by week 3 of the 2021 season. As you look forward to this season, what's something that really gets you excited, man? Obviously, playing home rugby is going to be something that we're all looking forward to. But what gets you personally fired up as you look at this schedule?
I mean, right off the bat, one of the reasons that we're all here is we're invested in, making Utah America's team. And I think you've seen that with the signings that we went after this year. We brought in, Paul Mullen, we brought in Mikey Te'o. We've really emphasized on trying to bolster that roster with more American talent. And the same can be said with what you're seeing with the Pathway program. We have now guys in with like the draft even. We have guys that are waiting in the wings that in 2 to 3 years are going to make us even more American than we are already. So, right off that, right there is really exciting because we're showing that we're invested in creating opportunities for American players to get noticed and play up to their potential along, other American talent and heroes from World Cups and international level rugby here in our country. From there, I think this pandemic has kind of given us a good opportunity to pause and really refocus our efforts on identifying what kind of rugby we want to be, what kind of pathway we want to be, what kind of staff we want to be. And I think that we were already rowing in the same direction. It was a little bit more frantic because everybody was joining the boats at different times. Where now that we've had this extended layoff, we've all been in the boat long enough to learn each other's rhythm. And now this boat is cruising. So I'm really excited to watch that play out on the field and like how Sean and Chris are going to work with those players that we've brought in, and then those players that we've brought in that are going to help, the younger talent that is waiting in the wings. Like it's an exciting time to be a Utah Warrior supporter and be a part of this team. And it will play out like that on the field, I hope, this season as well.
Makes the schedule, so you get it back and you play it, right? But what did you think of the makeup of the schedule?
I think it's safe to say it'll be nice not to be on the road for 5 weeks at a time. So that good alternate of home and away, home and away, home and away, and a good balance of cross conference competition. I think it's a really strong schedule. I think, looking at those teams, like what Dallas has done, obviously what LA has done, I think there's going to be an opportunity to watch some pretty exciting rugby be played out like every week, looking at that roster, at that schedule is going to determine the playoffs and championship, in my opinion. And that's the great thing about the MLR is it's not, 85 weeks long. It's 16 weeks, and we got to get after it to get to where we want to go. And that schedule, I think, will allow for us to field a good, consistent winning side week in and week out.
Talk about, and I don't want to say the unsung work because they will sing their praises all day long, but how crucial has it been to have the Shawns with Pittman and Davies working not only alongside you, but prepping with Coach Latham still overseas, to have guys with that kind of experience and leadership in the sheds with you, working not only with the selects, but with the first team?
Yeah. I don't, this podcast is only so long. So I could use this entire time singing the praises of Sean Pittman and Sean Davies. Pittman and I have worked together now for numerous years, and it continues to impress me to watch how he evolves in his coaching style and how he's always looking for new tactics, both on the field, but even off the field, about how he handles himself as a leader with communication, presentation, and professionalism. He's incredible. And Sean Davies, to make the transition that he's made from coach to player, is impressive, considering that it wasn't like going from playing for the USA and then coaching college rugby. He went from playing for the USA to coaching in the MLR, and he's really stepped his game up as well too. With there being a young coach like that, you always expect there to be some levels of mistake, but Sean Davies is batting a near perfect record. I would say a .999. He's done a great job. He's been successful, and watching those three work together is amazing. And then watching how they also interact with the community is incredible. Last night we even did a high school academy call, Sean Davies and I, and it's great to see somebody like that giving back, but then also creating excitement and buy-in from our community into the Utah Warriors brand. I mean, have I gushed enough about them?
Those guys have forgotten more about rugby than I'll ever know.
Yeah.
They're incredible assets to have on the team. The Shawns and, of course, Chris Latham. And not to shortchange yourself, a successful select season that you can hang your hat on there, Sparksy.
Yeah, it was nice to be back in the coaching role. I guess I didn't realize how much I had missed it, but it was nice to be back and working with that next generation.
What the next couple months look like leading up to the opener on March 21st?
For the MLR, it'll just be about prep. Another unsung hero in our setup is Matt Madison. He is a young S&C coach, but he's extremely knowledgeable. And, I was at their first workout about a week ago, and to watch where they were at this time last year to where they're at now is light years difference. So Matt's going to continue to work with them. Credit be to Matt because he's building some champions down there in that weight room. On the development side and the pathway side, we're working to organize our high school rugby academy. We have the high school rugby academy kickoff December 28th to 30th. That will be the first entry point to having an invitation out to our rugby academy. And our hopes with that high school rugby academy is just to identify talent and create a database that we're able to track these athletes as they progress up to that U23 level. We've been very fortunate to have players come back to Utah and put their hand up and say, hey, listen, I'm from Utah. I played rugby here in Utah. I'd love to be a part of, the Utah Warriors. But every time we've been surprised. So if we're able to identify these athletes when they're in high school and even as young as 12 and be able to track them through their collegiate careers, their football careers, whatever, what have you. And when the end of that, their college career or NFL career comes, to be there waiting for them and to invite them back into the Utah rugby fold is our goal. So that's
even for a guy like Dom Toluono, who you guys were able to identify young. He was able to come up through that club level and now has secured himself an MLR contract, a lot due to his performance in that select side. I think that's a key indicator of just how strong not only rugby is in Utah, but how well you guys have done in identifying some of that talent and growing and developing it into this top level, man.
Yeah. And I mean, we're only going to get better as the system evolves and matures. And a lot of it's just about a community awareness. And the more, like what the Shawns have done, I've done, Matt has done, and us as an organization as a whole, even what you guys are doing here, the more that we're getting out there and making impressions, the easier it is going to be for us to notice those types of players.
About the schedule, about how the selects did and that development, and the next couple months. We're just getting closer to the season. So, Brandon, we appreciate the time. We know you're a busy dude, lots going on, and thanks for the insight.
Hey, thank you guys. Always happy to talk, and go Warriors.
Well, things are going well. Schedule's out. We know the jerseys. We know the team. We're just a couple months away from actually watching this happen.
All right, look, I'm going to say it right now. Utah Warriors away kit. The red with the mountains, best looking kit in the MLR, okay? If you don't have it, get it. If you haven't seen it, go to warriorsrugby.com. If you spend $100 on merchandise at warriorsrugby.com, you get 2 tickets to the home opener. So you can be suited and booted, ready to go, looking fresh in Utah Warriors gear to cheer on Dub Nation.
Cannot wait until March when this happens, but in the meantime, we will keep you posted with Dub Nation every other week. Once we get closer to the season, we'll go every week. And, of course, get tickets, get merch, everything on warriorsrugby.com. Okay, that'll do it for us. Follow Warriors Rugby on social media. As we mentioned, get your tickets, merchandise, and prepare yourself for the season because it will be here before you know it. Thanks to everyone in Dub Nation. For Janae Hyde, Billy Rathule, and Banksy, I'm Jeremy Jordan. Go Warriors.